to, we'll address this. The midweek meeting should be the first place where we actually are able to share those types of things that John was sharing with you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the marvelous techniques that that you're given in the Loving Sober book is what we call feelings versus emotion. And that when I am excited, when I am emotional, and everybody out there knows what I'm talking about, when I get emotional in talking with my wife, nothing good can come of it. Nothing. And so the moment, one of the first things we do in the first session I work with people is finding out where in our bodies tell us before our minds even know that we're getting into emotion. One of the first things about this teaching is knowing that if I'm in emotion, nothing good can come of it, and I need to disengage now. Now, this may be where you guys had not really, when you went through that in the introductory material, maybe that was something that you kind of missed about that the moment that I feel that I'm in emotion, it's really important for me to disengage, because nothing good's going to come of it. Now, the person that's not in emotion, or the person that is hearing the truth, they're responsible to be able to say, you know what, I don't think that this is the time for us to speak about this. Period. And you separate. Another great tool that you're given in this teaching is what we call how to get a response instead of a reaction. And this works really, really well not only at home, but in business or with children. And again, I mentioned just a moment ago about telling somebody the truth. I've got a point of view of how things are. May or may not be true. But I think that my wife has done something and I think that she needs to know about it. Say it's that, or much easier to talk about myself. I get busy. I don't clean up the kitchen. I just get involved elsewhere. She comes in, she sees this, and before we were exposed to this teaching, she'd say something like, this is unacceptable. We share this space. I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that it's right. Would you please get in and take care of it? Now, what am I going to do but react? I feel frustrated. But what I was taught was how to get a response. So what does she do? She comes in and she says, "Hey, baby, how are you?" I love it when you do this. Or, she gives me a couple of positive feedbacks about myself. That I've done something wonderful, or, that I was kind to her this morning, or I was attentive when she texted me, or whatever. Then she says, "I know it was probably an oversight, but the kitchen's all cluttered, and I feel really not valued when it's like that." Now, I know that is not what you meant, but I'd appreciate it if you just be attentive about it. Well, how am I going to react to that? First, she's acknowledged me as a person of goodwill. Then she addresses what her point of view is, told me the truth. And then she's provided me with another piece of love or another piece of acknowledgement so that I don't feel devalued. Now, when I get that information, what is it that I do? Well, in this teaching, what I'm taught is that I sit and I let it, when she's talking to me, I let it answer. It doesn't have to be true, but I have to really listen to what it is that she said. And then I can respond and either say, you're right, I just didn't do it, or I can say, you know what, I got on the phone, I got preoccupied, I got drawn out, I've been sitting on the porch for the last 45 minutes talking to a client, and but I'll get right at it. Entirely different.
Mm-hmm.
And once you learn to start sharing information that way, it changes the dynamic of everything. So, I'm in the Dunkin' Donuts. She feels that when we're sharing information there, that somebody can hear it. My wife's a little bit of a private person. She is an extrovert. And so she starts to, she's gone along with it, but now she's feeling threatened. And so she can say to me, you know, God, I'm so glad we're doing this work together. And I really appreciate the fact that, you know, we were able to meditate this morning. You know what? Doing it here is not getting it from me. Can we come up with another place? I know that we can find some place that we can do things together. Entirely different situation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I may be sitting there, just like you were, and going, Dunkin' Donuts is perfect. I mean, there's nobody that knows it.
Right?
You know, if it goes sideways, I mean, I'm wearing dark, so if you throw something at me, everything's fine, you know. But see, you know, again, it's our perception, it's our point of view. And we don't want to confuse that with the truth.
Mm.
Does that seem helpful?
That would have been wonderful had that happened.
Yeah.
But it saved us a few days, right?
But see, that's the great thing about having somebody to work with.
Right.
Is that I'm already helping you remember that this is what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
all the time, is this response, reaction, the emotion, finding out when it is that I'm in emotion, and staying on my side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
So that maybe when your partner said to you, you know, this isn't working for me, maybe he would have been coming with the response, how to get the response, not a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And entirely different if he would have said, you know, I'm really glad we're meditating together, and I'm glad that, you know, that you agreed to go on to this with me, but I'm not feeling that you're engaged here. I know that's probably not true, that you're committed.
Mm-hmm.
How can we maybe be where we're a little more present and engaged, and not just, I feel like we're just fitting this in.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different situation.
That is wonderful. I'm excited for everybody to get to go to that next level. I'm always wanting to move up and up. You know, just what's the next thing I can do to improve myself so that I'm better for. Well, I don't say that I'm flawed. I guess remove old beliefs and that sort of thing, so I can be of maximum service. Maybe that's the phrase that I'm looking at for.
Yeah, I think, Cindy, that everyone